So, hi, Sheralee. Thank you for being with us. We're excited to
Hi.
talk to you.
Thank you for having me.
Hi.
Um, so, I think we want to start. We would love to have a little bit of backstory about, who are you? How did you come to being a tattoo artist, a model, and all of it?
All right. So I'm Sheralee Simon. I'm also known as Sherry or Wild Cherry. But I just turned 21 years old. I grew up in a small
Happy
town.
birthday!
Happy birthday. Yeah.
Thank you. I grew up in a small town in Germany, and I have two bigger sisters. And my oldest sister, she's like very into fashion, and she's a fashion designer as well. And I've always been her model, kind of like she always took pictures of me since I'm little, and it was always fun for me. But yeah, actually, like a lot of people suggested me to start modeling, but I always refused it because it felt like I had to, because other people told me to, and it wasn't like my choice. So I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. And then my family, like all of them are like very creative, like everyone is drawing or doing something. And yeah, so I always loved to sketch. And in school you had to do internships sometimes, and I always asked like tattoo shops if I could do the internship there, but they said I'm too young. So when I was 18, my younger sister, like she's older than me, but we're like three girls, and she gave me a tattoo machine to my 18th birthday. So since then I started tattooing. It's like 3 years now, and it was like all of a sudden, and I really enjoy it, and I think I'm pretty good. Like I just started on like 2 oranges, and then I was like, because like there's also like fake skin which you can
Yeah, I
tattoo.
was gonna say, who was the first person that trusted you?
I was
As
my
a,
first person.
Yeah. Show
you
us.
were your first. Okay.
Show us your first.
It's cherries.
It's
Yeah,
cherries. Of
beautiful.
course.
It's pretty bad, but actually I like to see the progress on myself, because I mean I'm only able to tattoo my left arm since I'm right-handed. But yeah, I was like, okay, actually for me it doesn't make sense to practice on fake skin if actually you have to be good on human skin. So I just started on myself, then on friends, and then it went on, and now I'm tattooing random people, and I'm really like honored if some people want tattoos from me, because it's like, okay, actually it's like my art. But also I always notice that I love to meet up with the people that get tattoos from me, because I think like it's so individual, like each meeting. And I think if someone likes my art, then there has to be like some kind of vibe going on that we would go along, like we understand each other like pretty well.
Yeah.
So it's always very nice to meet people. And then
So how is your creative process when you tattoo someone? Like, do you usually come up with a design together, or someone comes with a design and then you do it? Like, how does usually happen?
usually someone already comes with their design or like their
Inspiration or
idea,
Mhm.
and then I help them to make the sketch and like the actual tattoo. But my favorite thing to tattoo is hands. Like I love to tattoo hands. And yes, like sometimes people come up to me and they're like, okay, I love hand tattoos, you can do whatever you want on my fingers. And that's for me like it's the most trustful thing. And like I'm very honored, because they think, okay, actually she has an eye for like aesthetics and stuff, and then I'll trust her with my hands. And I mean, like you see them every day, and I'm like, okay, that's so nice. Yeah, so I really love to do body parts you can really see. And I think because I don't have that much tattoos, I mean, I'm looking forward to get a lot more, but the most tattoos I have are on my hands and on my neck. And those were the placements my parents always told me, you're not allowed to tattoo them.
Yeah.
And my first tattoo was on my hands. So I was like, fuck it. But I think it's also because since I was younger, I was always seen as like the cute girl, like because I'm the youngest from my family, and I think I want to show my strength with my tattoos so that I'm just more than my outer shell, because I also got Roa in Tunis, and I mean, it's soul, because for me it was very important that I have it next to my face, because I mean, I love to model and stuff, but I'm not just an objective. And I think it's also very like problematic how models are seen, because it's like a very, like, it takes a lot of courage and strength and everything. Like, it's a hard job. And I think so many people think it's like very easy to just stand in front of the camera, but yeah, it's just more than looks.
So yeah, I mean, we obviously, like, we worked with you. We loved working with you. We have wonderful image with you. So how, we're always interested by the story of how you ended up in Tunisia, and how you ended up modeling in Tunisia.
So I ended up in Tunisia because my cousin, she lives there since 4 years, and she suggested me and my best friend to come over to start our work and traveling there. And we planned to actually stay for only like 2 weeks, and then she had to fly home because her father got very sick. Like, it's another story, but yeah, so I was like, okay, I'm really torn apart between flying all by myself to Australia or just staying in Tunis. And since I went clubbing in Gingembre, I guess, in Wissem, and Zayan Bashir came up to me and they were like, hey, you look so nice. Can we take photos of you? And then they took photos of me, and then other brands come up to me. And so it somehow just started that I got into modeling. And so it was never that I really thought about doing it. It just like, I just went with the flow, and it was really nice, and I really enjoyed every brand. And one of my most favorite brands to work with was yours.
Hey.
It was such a nice day. Like,
yeah, it was hot. It was hot as hell. It was really hot.
I think you were beautiful.
You were beautiful, and you were a lot of fun.
You guys did an amazing job. Yeah.
No, you were so much fun to work with. I kept going on and on about you after.
She did.
Yeah.
She did.
No, it's really nice. Like, I love the day in total. I didn't see it as a job. I just thought of it more as an experience and like a nice day.
Well, good. I'm happy you felt that way. And the production team, they're just so nice. They were so amazing. The photographer, Rock Raven, too. They're just, everybody just gave their all, and that, and it just made something really positive and really fun.
So yeah, and I really love the concept of Ose. How is it pronounced properly?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
But like, our stories are your stories. I think it's so nice because it's not actually that's how the model is wearing it, and that's how it should be, because like, it's so diverse and you can wear them so differently. And that's what I like about, because like, you're seen as an individual. So I'm very honored that you want to interview me. So
no, I mean, I think this is what we're trying to do, really. Like, I think we all have interesting stories, and it's all about how to share them to kind of find more of the commonality amongst each other than the differences. And this is what I love. And I think you have such an interesting story, and the fact that you're also such a creative person, you're a tattoo artist, I thought was very inspiring. So we're very honored that you talked to us. So now you live in Berlin, right? So tell us a little bit about it.
In Berlin,
I love Berlin.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's like, I mean, sometimes it's hard in a way that for me, like Marsa, it was like so small, and like after a few months, you knew
village,
the community.
The village, yeah.
And it was also like sometimes a bit too much, I guess. Like, sometimes you felt like I just wanted to go grocery shopping or stuff, and then like some people like recognized me. And it also was for me like kind of weird, because sometimes I went to City Boo, and then like smaller girl, like I'm not known here in my village, like, but then some like 14-year-old girls came up to me and they were like, "You're Wild Cherry," and I was like, "Yeah, I am.
I
How
love
do
it.
you know?" And now in
The
Berlin,
power of social media, yeah.
mm, but now in Berlin, I mean, I love the people and it's very diverse. They're like people from all over the world, but sometimes it can be lonely because it is so big and you feel like you're not being seen at all. I don't know, like so disconnected somehow,
Yeah.
even though you can be so connected and everything is connected. Like it's very controversial. But I have all of my friends there. My best friends all live there since 3 years now. And my best friend lives across the street, which is also very rare for Berlin. So I really enjoy my time there. And yeah, I'm also modeling right now. Not that much anymore because, as I said, I was struggling with eating disorders and body dysmorphia. But now it's getting better
So how
since.
did that happen? Because I think it's amazing that you talk about it, and it's a very important subject. I think like telling that part of the story where like you have 14 years old looking at you and saying you're so beautiful, we love you, and like you suffer from you suffered from body dysmorphia. I think it's a very important way of talking about it. So
Mm.
what happened there? Like what?
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it started in Tunis, or it started there.
um, I think it started like it was like the peak of it, but it didn't start. It started in my childhood. I think like never I've never received any like bad comments about my body or like, the way I look. Okay, well, actually, I did in like primary school because there was this one child who was getting bullied because he looked different, and I was the only one in class who didn't bully him as well because I think obviously it's like unnecessary to think of someone that's
Well, of
different
course,
just
yeah.
because of his looks. And then I think because I wasn't someone who bullied him, he thought, okay, I'm the weaker one. So then he started bullying me with the other kids. And so in school, I got kind of like laughed at, like people laughed at me because of the way I look. I mean, I grew up in a small town in Germany. Like there are not a lot of like I was the only Asian in my class. And yeah, but at home, like my parents always told me, yeah, you're so beautiful. And I know that they didn't mean it in a bad way. But so it was like very confusing. Like in
Yeah.
school, I was like being bullied for looking different. And then at home, it was the only thing I really heard of myself. So like somehow I felt like, okay, that's like the only thing about me, like my shell. And then before I came to Tunis, I fell in love with my best friend. And she was one of the first friends because after 4 years of primary school, I switched to another school and she was one of the first friends I had again. Like she was my best friend for 10 years, and like all of a sudden I realized, okay, actually I had been in love with her for like a very long time now, and she was always the one who saw me for me. I thought of like she was like, yeah, actually, Sherry, you're such a beautiful soul, I like you for who you are. But then at some point, as I told her that I like her more than just being friends, it got very complicated, and I don't blame her in a way because I would say I'm like very sensitive and empathetic, but sometimes you can't justify someone's behavior just because of what they went through in their childhood. Because I mean, of course you are getting wounded in your childhood and you like we accept the love we think we deserve and stuff, but it's our responsibility as adults to not bring the same pain as you had in your childhood to other people.
Yeah.
And it was very toxic. So I kind of like find out after 1 year or 1.5 years of like on and off relationship with her that she had another girlfriend. like because she
Mm.
already moved to Berlin. Like I'm very open right now. Oops.
Oh, love it. Keep going. We're
No,
like,
of course, yeah.
tell me.
But yeah, so I think because she always told me like in general she can't have anything exclusive and it's not me.
Yeah.
So like she always told me she really likes me for me. And then it was confusing to me that like the first time that I felt someone really sees me for who I am inside actually kind of rejected me. And so when I came to Tunis, it was also like kind of I was running away from my problems because I was really sad, but it got to a point where I was like, okay, actually it's so tiring. I don't want it to be a part of my story anymore. And then I think I kind of just forgot about it. Like, I mean, I was having fun in Tunis, like a lot of fun. I was always going out, clubbing, I was going to the beach, but still, just because in the now it seemed as if everything is fine, it wasn't, because deep down I didn't like let go of the
Addressed. Yeah.
I was going through. So I think I felt very empty inside. And at some point, because also, I mean, she also told me once, yeah, Sherry, did you lose weight? It suits you and stuff. So, I mean, it got stuck in my head, kind of like some sentences. But yeah, since then, it really got worse, like my eating disorder and everything, because I now, I mean, I like since like a few months and it's getting better and better, I realize I'm more than just my body and stuff.
Yeah.
But back then, I felt like, okay, as long as I'm pretty, I'm going to be loved. And since I didn't have any self-love for myself, I was trying to get it from other people. And I thought, okay, I'm only being loved as long as I'm pretty. And also in society, like a lot of people think being skinny or like from other like the way pretty is seen like many years before, like very skin girls. And I mean, it's not like every body shape is beautiful, but I also had to learn it. And I think also our generation is so fucked up because we grew up with social media so much.
Yeah.
It's like
Yes.
normal to, like, I mean, I see it with my small cousins, and I'm also babysitting in Berlin, and like it's normal for them to see themselves with filters and stuff. But actually, it's not. Like you get like a so disconnected and false image of yourself.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's why the eating disorder started, because I was lacking of love, and I thought that's the way love would come to me. I mean, and now that I'm going to therapy, it makes so much sense, because I was always blaming myself, or one could think, okay, how can someone think that, like, for example, to not eat, like I haven't eaten something, like that's how I lost a lot of weight, like very fast. But like if you don't eat, like to eat food, it's like energy, and you need energy
Yeah.
to live. Yeah.
Yes.
But so one could think, okay, how dumb could someone be to not eat? But the thing is, and which helped me the most to view it like, okay, actually, it's not wrong what I did, because in this situation in my life, it was the only strategy to really function. Because like you always think of being alive, like evolution stuff, like that's like the main goal as a human. But for me, as my main goal, it was like, okay, if I don't eat, I'm getting thinner, I'm getting loved. And like the most important thing in life is love, because there's also like I don't know if you know the experiment where they're like babies, which were feeded and everything, but they never were held. Like they never became love, and they all died after a few weeks. So for me, it was like very, like I
Totally.
felt
Yeah.
light after I found out, okay, actually there's nothing wrong with me. Like I had those strategies and
Course, yeah.
eating disorder because of some reasons. And Yeah, but it's getting better. So don't think that I'm
So
good.
therapy was, one of the mechanisms that helped you through the process.
Hmm.
I think it's a very important message, like, I mean, we
Very
obviously
important.
Samantha and I believe a lot in therapy, and, exactly, to break, all of the patterns that don't serve you and are wrong, like, like how you perceive love and all of that. So it's
Yeah,
bravo, it's amazing that you kind of, like, have been through that, have recognized this, is hopefully on the other side of it, and
And that you're doing something and enabling yourself so early on. It's very important. Like I join you in the similar story of having an eating disorder my
mm,
whole life. And I didn't even realize that it was an eating disorder until very, very late in my life. And it
mhm,
started to affect every aspect of my life. And me, for example, it was like a sense of control and punishment at the same time. It's like, this is the only
mhm.
thing I can control, and I'm going to punish myself and not feeding myself.
Yeah. And I
I
think
mean,
also, like, what I notice is that often, like, sometimes when I'm angry about my sisters, like, I'm not like, don't think I'm a bad person, but that's also the thing. Like, right now, I'm justifying myself and say, okay, don't think I'm a bad person, because sometimes I'm getting angry with my sisters, because sometimes I have a reason to be angry. Like,
yeah,
it's just
of
emotions.
course,
But
yeah.
it was my way to let go of the emotions. Like, I always stored them up, and I punished my body for the like to get rid of those emotions. And I think that's why it's so important to speak about what kind of emotions you have, because for boys it's like very random to cry, like to show weak emotions, and for women I think it's also not common to have like strong emotions as anger, but it's just like everyone has those emotions. And I think if we start like speaking more about it, it's getting more and more normal, because it is simply so normal, like if we wouldn't see things as this, problems wouldn't even be caused.
for sure, for sure. There's also difference in like definitions of things and words today, thanks to societies evolving. You say boys are, they're taught not to show weaknesses. Today, we want to call that vulnerability. And today, being a man, for all I've noticed, is being able to be
Mm.
vulnerable to the world, being able to show that. And women also, if we get too strong in emotion and we raise our voice, we're called immediately crazy. Oh, she's crazy. Oh, she's on her period. No,
Yeah.
a
Exactly.
living
Oh, yeah,
person,
exactly.
and
So
I'm,
hormonal, emotional, yeah.
acting on those emotions is another chapter. But yeah, I mean, as long as you're aware, you have to just be aware of it and be it acceptance. Like my dad always told me, there's nothing worse than going through a life where nothing happens at all.
Uh-huh.
Like your emotions are there for a reason.
Yeah.
Exactly, but I think it's true, like naming them, addressing them,
Yeah.
understanding them very early on as an education and part of your education process, I think is very key. And I think it's something that's only now we're a little bit more aware, where I don't think we're aware of this like even 10 years ago.
Yeah, communication is way more open today.
Mhm.
And yeah, well, thank you for sharing the story with us,
Okay.
and for opening up. No, I think it's really important that other girls hear this. um you know
Absolutely.
Share as much as you
So
can of the joy or the struggle. I think it's important.
as the
Mm.
sisterhood, where like, okay, like that talks to me, that resonates with me, that like, wow, she's been through that, she understands this, I'm not alone in that.
Yeah,
And I think that's we all need that. It's the same thing as the baby being held. It's like, oh, I feel less lonely in my journey, hearing someone that I look up to and I have the feeling she has this incredible life or whatever, actually is going through some very, like, emotional path. I think it's really powerful.
yeah, emotional distress can be devastating, and be too bad.
So like my therapist helped me a lot through this journey, but also my sisters one of the biggest parts. Like they're my rock. And
Yeah.
also friends. Like I think like being understood by other women and friends and sisters, and just to have like those conversations that go really deep and you open up, it's so important. And that's what really helped me, like love of the people I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. You got it. You found your way. Don't take that road anymore.
Our stories are yours. You
Our
see,
stories are
your
yours.
stories are ours. It's all about, you know, the circularity of life.
We all go through very
Um,
similar things in life, and I think we tend to forget that also. You know what I mean? As a species, like especially women.
so
Yeah.
back to kind of a little bit lighter note, like, so how do you wear your shoes? How do you wear your Jose? What's your typical look? Like, what do you drive inspiration when you dress up?
I really love baggy clothes. Right
Great.
now
You look
I'm
great
also
in baggy clothes.
I'm wearing baggy jeans and like just a simple shirt. But for me, I think it's very important to feel comfortable in the way I dress, because I like, okay, like sometimes I like to wear like more tight stuff, but only if I feel comfortable in it. But since I have body dysmorphia, it was like very difficult to wear like very tight stuff. So I love to wear like a simple look, but dress it up with like very eye-catching things. So for me, for example, I'm just wearing jeans and this shirt, and I think I have the zebra Jose, and I love them because they're like an eye catcher themselves. So I feel like I don't have to wear something so fashion and like so colorful or something, because it looks put on, but it's so simple.
Yeah.
And it's very comfortable. I mean, you can just slide into them, because that's how I love to wear them the most. With, I don't know if you call it, if you put the
heel down, yeah.
obviously. Yeah. But I think it's so easy and effortlessly, but so chic and cool. So that's what I love the most. And yeah, but I could also wear them with a dress and stuff, but that's probably how I would style them the most, like just cool baggy clothes. And then
That's your uniform. That's great.
yeah.
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 Very cool.
We love that. We love that. I mean, I think it's actually super cool to see, like, you know, like you know, like so beautiful, you know, like baggy clothes, and then, you know, the shoes. I think it's an amazing look. Love that.
Also young people, that it appeals to, you know, young people. Now you're in Berlin, you know, and it's super cool, and walking around with your babouche from Mosé. No, I mean, I really like the mix of styles, like big time, you know.
Yeah.
And I always thought that masculine looking clothes on women were the thing. Like I love it. So I've always like I love your style, the baggy style. I think it looks great on you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sheralee. That was beautiful. It was very, I don't know, it was very real and beautiful, and it was, you know, Simone, I love that moment. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you. I mean, I don't know. We're not super close. We've worked together a couple times, but like right now I just felt very close to you, because, you know, I share a similar thing too, and I just I felt such a sense of pride. You know what I mean? That you, young at your age, are taking the tools and the steps needed to go through, manage this, and take over, and I'm just really proud. Yeah, I'm really proud of another sister, man. Kudos.
Thank you.
That's amazing, Simone. You make me emotional now.
It's true, because it's such a hard subject, and it can happen to the most beautiful souls. I mean, look at her. You know, Kenza, I've been obsessed with her for a long time. Like, every time I see a picture of you, I'm like, God damn it, that face. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even your face. You shine. You really shine.
Yeah, there is an aura that is very
You
special
got
about
that
you.
something. It's not just that you don't just have an exceptional face. you freaking shine. And I try to tell it to you once in a while on Instagram. I answer your stories. I'm like, you know, you go, girl, you're awesome. And people like don't get that this stuff happens to awesome people, to very good looking people. It's not, you know, has nothing to do with exterior image. It's just, it's a whole other realm of things, and it can be really complicated, and it can ruin your, you know, this such important part of your life. You know, becoming a woman, you know, you got to own
I
it,
do
own
think
yourself.
mental health is important.
You're awesome. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
It
you
means
for
a lot.
sharing all of this.